Today I'm braising wild Alaska halibut with a summertime cassoulet of beans, piquillo peppers and baby plum tomatoes. First thing I need to do is make my braising liquor. So a few cloves of garlic. To separate them, just mash it down with your hand. I'm going to use 4 cloves. Next, chop the onion in half. So slice it nice and thinly. That done, you need a shallow pan, pop the onions and garlic in with a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and a couple of water. This is the process known as sweating, and that's the reason I put the water in as well as the oil. What you want to do is soften them. You want to bring out their sugars and get them into this sort of melting mass of goodness. Here I've got some baby plum tomatoes. I'm going to cut these in half. The thing about cooking this way is it's all about all of the juices from all of the ingredients combining, mingling, getting to know each other. Scatter them across the bottom of the dish. Then the piquillo peppers, cooked in peel for you, they're delightful. They just come in a jar. You want to slice them up. Pop the peppers in with the tomatoes. Now, what's happening in this pan? They're soft and sweet now. There's no more of that raw, aggressive onion flavour. These are sweated. So they've fallen, they've softened, and they're ready to add everything else too. So here I've got a tin of flageolet beans and their juice. Pop them in. Grab your dish. Grab your beans and onions. And pour it all over the top. This dish actually is a great example of a dish that you could make using frozen Alaska halibut. All you would do is put it in the oven at a slightly lower temperature for a little bit longer. I'm going to season the fish on both sides. Pepper. Put it on the top of the vegetables. Okay, submerging it slightly so it starts catching those juices on the bottom. This will go in for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now, runner beans. You need to check if they've got any of those big horrible strings down the middle. All you do is just break them in half, and if it comes out, peel it off. Pop the tops off as well. There we go. So I like to do them on a long bias so that you can see inside the bean. And you need to put your vegetables in and get them back to the boil as quickly as possible. That way you keep them green, you keep them tasty, and you keep everything that's good about them. While they're boiling, I'm going to chop up these olives. Now these are Kalamata olives. I've chosen these for this recipe because they're not too overpoweringly strong. I think they're absolutely ideal. Some fresh basil. Here, I'm taking off all the big leaves. It gives the little leaves a chance to grow. Come with me while I have a look at the halibut. Now, here is a very good example. Well, now you can see that it's very white around the outsides here, and in the centre there, it's just translucent. And you see how it bounces back off my little finger? So at this stage, whether it have been cooked from fresh or from frozen, that will feel exactly the same. You can just leave that to sit in an oven, which you turn off. That will quite happily keep there in the oven for anything between 5 and 10 minutes. Then, grab the leaves and stack them up, slice through them, and get those essential oils. You've got tons of fresh, feisty, beautiful flavour. Pop that to one side. Grab a bean. Good. So I'm just going to strain these. Give them a good old shake. Boom, done. Then grab the fish out the oven. Now that's been sitting there for a good couple of minutes. This is the fillet that I was touching earlier. This is firmed up noticeably and it's absolutely good to go. Now I need to mix through the other ingredients. So you lift out the Alaska halibut, pop it on a plate. And when I talk about sunshine food, for me this is it. It's dishes that are at the same time light and incredibly satisfying, both to look at and to eat. So once I've mixed all of those ingredients through, all the vegetables, I add the basil at the last minute. That way I'm going to set the dish alight. Then you pop the fish back on top. Any juices that have escaped onto the plate, pour them over the top of the fish. You don't want to waste any of this flavour. That's what I've talked about. You've got the juice from the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, the extra virgin olive oil, and the fish, all mingled together, all got to know each other in the oven. There you have it. Soft, succulent flakes of fish surrounded by sunshine. Thing is, I can't resist nicking a little bit off the end. Before that goes out to the table. These days, sustainability, wild and natural are real buzzwords, but for Alaska Seafood they simply sum up what they've been doing for half a century, bringing some of the best wild sustainable seafood to your table.